Hi, my name is Aiden Andreessen, and in this entry, or in this video, I will be talking about Bushido Code in relation to the sailor who fell from grace with the sea. This is my third entry for this novel for my learner portfolio. I guess let's just hop into it. So, Bushido is defined as way of the warrior. I'm going to be referring to my notes because I haven't memorized all this stuff. But Bushido Code, this is actually what I'm writing my essay on right now for the, I don't even know, for this essay. I'm writing about the Bushido Code and how Yukio Mishima uses it. So, as I've already established in my videos before where I talked about Yukio Mishima, it's pretty clear that he romanticizes this older way of Japan. He wants to go back to this more respectable, honorable society that he thinks really represents what Japan is, and move away from this modernized, westernized, defeated Japan. And in his novel, The Sailor Fell from Grace with the Sea, he uses his characters to represent modern Japan, the shift from modern Japan to, or sorry, the shift from classic or imperial Japan to modern Japan, and imperial Japan overall. And he really represents this with Bushido Code. So I found Bushido Code to be pretty interesting because it has a lot of stuff and a lot of things that are kind of contradictory, or like Yukio Mishima uses these Bushido codes to represent Noboru, who represents his beliefs more of bringing back this imperial Japan. But then Noboru also doesn't hold up to some of the Bushido Code values, and like he doesn't live by them completely. So I thought that was kind of weird. But honor and justice, only right and wrong, no shades of gray, in question of honesty and justice. So I decided to write my essay using honesty and justice as one of the Bushido codes to bring up because I thought it was brought up quite a bit. Even I focused on the gang, but it was also brought up by Ryuji a lot. Or not a lot, sorry, but wait, no, Noboru, sorry. Noboru brings up this question of right or wrong, and he kind of just says that this is there. That he brings up that he says that this is right, this is wrong. He judges all of Ryuji's acts and like puts them into his book of like what his offenses or something against him, and he kind of just gauges him on that. And then later on, he judges whether or not he and the gang should kill him. And they say, "Oh, it's too late for Ryuji to make it better or something or whatever to recover." But so they're deciding someone else's fate. They decided this is right, this is wrong. They didn't say, oh, maybe he's doing this. Da, da, da. They just have this hatred for fathers and just say, no, he is past recovery. So, yeah. I thought it was a bit interesting. There is like Bushido codes represented in Ryuji, such as like complete sincerity. This is seen a lot in Ryuji. I feel like Ryuji is a very straightforward man. When he's talking to Noboru's mom about marrying him, he has nothing to hide. He tells her, even if you don't want to marry me, I will give you all of the money that I've earned. He's very like there's not a bunch of dimensions or any tricks lying behind the face that he puts on. There's no hidden Ryuji. He shows who he is, and he's completely sincere. He says he's going to do something, and he does it. He was into Noboru's mom and he's like, I'm gonna get with her, and he didn't want to make Noboru dislike him, but he also wanted to create some authority, so he punished him the way he thought would be best to punish him, which was really not punishing him. But he had this idea and he fell through with it. He said he would stop working. He would stop going away with on his boat if that's what Noboro's mom wanted, and he followed through with that. So he actually represented a lot of that, which I didn't really understand. When we're talking about analysis of this book, I'm gonna be honest. I don't fully understand what Ryuji completely represents. It was a little bit unclear to me. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's like the transition from one state to another. Like he holds characteristics from Imperial and Modern, and Noboro was kind of killing that off. Noboro and his gang killing him off was like them killing off this way to get to Modern Japan. They're cutting off the way to get there so that it would stay Imperial in a way. I think that's kind of how I understood it. This is one thing I didn't talk in my essay, but I guess kind of applies. One thing about Bushido Code value is also it really matters what their perspective is. So, compassion. Power must be used for good of all, helps man and goes out of his way to find one. To find... I think I wrote this sentence incomplete. But still, power must be used for good of all. So, in the book, we kind of see the gang and Noboru as these bad guys, as they kill a cat and they kill Ryuji, and it doesn't seem like they're really doing much for anyone else, and then Noboru is murdering Ryuji, the man who makes his mom happy. So it doesn't really seem like they're doing anything that helps others or is compassionate in any way or doing the best for all people, you know. But in their perspective, they think they're saving the world. They talk about that. They say that with the bloodshed, you know, and the blood flowing, they can change the world and make it better and get rid of fathers and do all this stuff. All these ideas that they have all these thoughts, and from their perspective, they are the good guys. They obviously wouldn't see themselves as bad guys, because then why would they do it? Most people don't like to see themselves as a bad guy. Their opinion is that they are the one doing the good. So that was kind of something about how like you could see it in a certain way. Like the way you look at Bushido Code, you could perceive it in a completely different way. Like polite courtesy, no reason to be cruel, must always show respect, or they are nothing but animals. I mean, this is a samurai, like this is a code that the samurai followed, and they also, I don't know, it can be perceived in many different ways. It's like religion. Like when people read the Bible, they perceive it a certain different way. That's why we have all these denominations of Christianity. It's because different people read the same thing or these same rules or whatever to live by, the 10 Commandments. I don't know, I'm not religious, and they believe it means a certain thing while others believe it means something else. You know, I think Bushido Code falls into that same category where Ryuji represented some of these Bushido Code values, and he was this nice, forthcoming, helpful man who gave up his passion to be with this beautiful woman that I'm pretty sure I think he loved, and that was his perception of Bushido Code. That was like, I mean, they didn't directly say that he believed Bushido Code in the book, but that was how he represented it, and he represented a lot of the characteristics. And then Noboru and his gang represent a bunch of Bushido Code values, and Noboru and Ryuji don't get along perfectly. They actually clash and end up killing Ryuji. So it just shows that these two completely different perceptions of what the Bushido Code values mean can just lead to this bloodshed and complete like difference. They don't all go together. I don't know, your perspective on this stuff really matters when taking into account these Bushido Code values. That's about all I have to say about this stuff, so thank you.